What's up, guys? It's your boy Pre, and we're back with a new kind of video. I have never built a 5-inch, and today we are going to be building my first 5-inch drone, but it's not any 5-inch drone. It's a 5-inch race drone. Usually, for first 5-inch builds, people usually go with a normal freestyle quad, which is a little bit easier to build. I'm not sure if you watched, whoever's watching this video, I've had a tiny trainer build, and that was my first ever build. That video is on my channel right now if you guys want to go check that out. I would really appreciate it. But today we're going to actually be building a 5-inch race drone, which is a lot more complex, a lot more compact, very tight, and a little bit complicated, but hopefully we have a pretty nice ride with building this. I've tried my best to plan out everything and have basically everything I need to make this quad complete. Besides that, huge shout out to my sponsor, 4U They supplied a lot of the parts for this quad, including the stack, the whole entire stack, ESC and FC, and all the motors for it, so it's super appreciated, plus some spare arms. So shout out to Adam Hodge at 4U but shout out to Fat Strap Steve as well. Code 4UFPV for 10% off all straps at fatstrappfpv.com. So if you guys use that code, you guys will win 10% off your order. But besides that, guys, let's do not too much yapping. We are going to be building the Switchback Pro from 533 today. Besides that, there's really no more context. Let's get into it, guys. Try and waste as little time as possible. And yeah, let's get into it. Peace. So we've got the bench view now, and we're just going to run you guys through all the components we're going to be using in this build today. So starting with the frame, obviously, like we said, the 533 Switchback Pro frame, the SFG edition arms. There's a light edition. This actually makes this frame able to become basically a box frame with side force generators. I do have a set of those, but I'm not going to be trying those just yet. I'm going to start with these braces right here, just in case I do crash pretty hard, since it's going to be my first 5-inch race drone. So I'm probably going to take a beating just to save some arms. Hopefully this will break before an arm does. But yeah, besides that, that's the frame that we're going to be running today. For the motor choice, we've got the Hype Train 2306 LetsFly RC 1850 kV 6S motor. I know it may be a little bit controversial running 2306, but it is just what I have for now. In the future, I will be switching that to 2207. But like I said, this is my first racing 5-inch quad, so it really doesn't matter, honestly, what I run. I probably won't notice a difference as long as it's 6S. I'm probably going to be running it on a limit regardless, so it won't really matter. For the camera, we are running the RunCam Nano 2. I've run this cam in my tiny trainer, and I've had this cam basically on a lot of my drones since I started flying drones. This camera was used in my first FPV drone. It's actually right over here. Yeah, I think that says a lot. So yeah, that's the camera that we're going to be running. It's a Nano camera, 14mm, and it fits perfectly in the 533 print. So yeah, for the receiver, we've got an Axis Flying, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure this is an Axis Flying T1 ELRS receiver. I got this for free, so I don't know much information of it. It looks brand new. I'm not sure if it works. He said it might work, he said it might not. So if it doesn't work, then we might have to complete this build another day, but at least we'll have the rest of the quad built. For the stack, we've got the T-Motor F45 amp mini F7 stack. I know also it's kind of controversial that I'm running 45 amps, but like I said, I'm probably not going to be at very high throttle with this quad, considering that I'm going to be learning, so it shouldn't be taking too much amps. I will be running a 60 amp on my other 5-inch racing build that will be in the future, which will be an ultralight racer, but I'm not going to tell you guys too much before we get into that. Obviously, we've got these little nice 3D prints that I've been scourging the internet for and printing all day. For the antenna, we are going to be using the iFlight Sigma antenna.
What the Sigma?
Yeah, I hate saying that word, but yeah, please don't make something out of that. I also printed these little 20x20 spacers so we can save the stack in the case of a crash, and a couple other things that we'll get into later. But yeah, besides that, that's basically just about everything that we're going to be running on this build. It doesn't really take too much to build a 5-inch race quad. I mean, quad in general, honestly. Besides that, guys, let's get into it. We're going to start assembling the frame. Alright, so Caveman is learning how to build a drone. I think I've got this somewhat figured out. We will get back with you guys in a couple seconds, but yeah. Alright guys, that took way too long, but we've got the quad together now basically, or the frame together now. This is definitely going to be a late night build, but it's going to be worth it. I was feeling demotivated, but then I got this figured out. Turns out I had to sand down the arms where they connect in the key locking plate, but we got that all figured out now. So now to hard mount or dry mount the components, however you want to call it. Let's see how everything fits and make sure everything fits well before we make anything final. Now that we got our frame all assembled, let's get to the exciting part, unboxing the electronics of the drone. This is a T-Motor F45 stack, like I said earlier, 20 by 20, because that's usually what most racers use. But just wanted to show you guys this. This is the satisfying part. Let me be quiet. That wasn't that satisfying, but still. Whew, that is satisfying. T-Motor stickers. Love to see it. Love to see it. You see, let's take this. This is very, very tiny. Love to see that, honestly. Look how small. That is tiny. I've had one of these before, and I guess I forgot how small it is. This is very tiny. Really nice though. It's gonna be really nice for this build. So that's our flight controller. Let's get the ESC out. This one does have the quick change motor connectors, or MR30 connectors, because I'd rather have that instead of having to solder new motors every time. And let's see how it fits. Wow, honestly, that's gonna fit really nice. We're gonna take this and relocate our battery lead, flip it upside down basically. Honestly, I'm not sure if we're able to. I don't think I want to do that anyway, so yeah, we're gonna probably relocate our XT60, but besides that, that looks like it's gonna be pretty clean. Obviously we need gummies and stuff, but that looks like it's gonna fit pretty clean. So we will get everything prepped up and we'll get back to you guys. So guys, this is exactly why you dry fit everything before you solder anything. I'm really glad I did, honestly, because my motor wires are not long enough from the factory, so I'm gonna have to extend every single one of these MR30 connectors so I can have quick swappable motors. Woohoo! I'm gonna have to go do that. I am not doing this on camera. I'm not making you guys watch this. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Alright guys, your boy Pre is currently tapped out for the night. This is how far we got. We extended our MR30 connectors off camera and resoldered them. So we're all ready to plug up some motors. The rest of the stack just needs to be put together and soldered together, which we'll leave for tomorrow because it's currently 2 in the morning. I spent a lot of time filing down these arms so I can get them to fit, as well as dry fitting and making sure that everything is gonna work out in the end of the build. And I think I've got my notebook planned out for tomorrow for this build, and we will be back in a little bit. I know it may seem like a long time, but it's not that long. I just kind of did a lot of stuff in between, and that's why it seems like I'm taking forever to build this. But yeah, if you guys are watching this far, I appreciate you guys. What's up guys, it's your boy Pre, and it is a new day. I highly suggest, if you're building something late at night and you're feeling super tired, to just sleep on it. And besides that, I really want to embrace the fact that you guys should really definitely practice dry mounting your quads before you do build, because if I would have built this without, or tried to build this without dry mounting, I probably would have lost my mind even more. But now we've got these MR30s extended. I stayed up nice and late extending these MR30s and making sure the tape is separating these little joints so it doesn't get shorted out in a crash. And basically just making sure I'm doing maximum crash prevention, basically, or short prevention. I still have to relocate this XT60, and then from there it's just solder everything to the flight controller. But yeah, that's a little update, and we will get back to you guys when we're actually doing something interesting. Alright guys, so update number 900 million, thousand, billion, quadrillion, fajillion, billion, thousand, billion, 69 billion gazillion thousand. Yeah, we've gotten the XT60 somewhat relocated. My soldering iron did not want to get hot enough to be able to fully disconnect the 12 gauge wire off, but I was able to move it somewhat enough to where it's like not too much tension that bothers me. We've got our capacitor all in there nice and safe. Yeah, we've got the flight controller dry mounted right now. All of the motor wires seem to be pretty solid. I'm trying to figure out, I think I'm actually gonna flip the flight controller backwards in beta flight, and I have the ribbon cable running under and up into the plug for the flight controller from the ESC. That way it's not over or bending in any kind of crazy way, and it's actually really clean. It looks like it's super clean, honestly. So yeah, that's definitely exciting, and I will get back to you guys on the next couple steps. For now it's just finalizing dry fitting, and yeah. Alright guys, now that we got everything all dry mounted and fitted up, we're going to get to tinning all the pads that we're going to be soldering to, just to make our life a little bit easier. I've already got them all tapped up with some flux, so we're just going to go around all of them and just fill them up with just a little bit of solder.
Which should not take much effort at all. Those are two. There's TX, RX, ground, 5 volt. I'm gonna have to feed this one just a teeny bit. Boom. It's TX1. Alright, so now we've got 5 volt. I want a little bit more. Nice. Got video in. Boom. 2 grounds. Oopsies. Boom. Those might have a little too much. We'll clean those up in a second. T3. Got 10 volt. I need 10 volt. 10 volt and video out. It's hard to solder like this. I'm trying to make it to where you guys can see. There we go. Alright. Let's take a look at those. We're going to clean our iron and then just tap those so make it a little bit cleaned up. So it got a little too much. There we go. There's one. Oh, nope. I bridged those. Don't want to do that. Just give that a little swipe. Boom. Separate those again. Nice. Boom. Nice and small. Perfect. Let's give this one more tap here just to get these fully separated. And I bridged these two now. Boom. Alright, now we're good.
So now we've got all of our pads tinned up. Probably can't see that, but they're all tinned up. So now we're going to tin our ELRS receiver. So now we've got our ELRS receiver all tinned up as well. So we're basically ready to get to work. I'm going to grab everything I need, strip all my wires, tin those, and then we will get back to you guys when it's time for action. Alright guys, we've got all of our wires pre-tinned and all of our pads pre-tinned, so nonetheless, let's get into getting everything wired together. So let's start with the ELRS receiver. Since I'm not sure if this receiver does work, that's the first thing that I kind of want to test. We're just going to add some solder on the back of these just to be safe. Cool. Now we got both sides secured there with solder, so receiver should be pretty on there, I'd say. So now time to find out if it works. Give that a little tap, slight tap. Bingo. And there's our ELRS receiver all wired up. I'm gonna go set that up in the ports tab quickly, and pray to God that this receiver works, because if not, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna either have to steal one from another drone or buy a whole new one. Even though it's the cheapest part of the drone, I don't want to buy another one. We'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, we just did some troubleshooting, and we have got it binded now. So it's time to continue the build. Let's get this VTX wired up and all these motors mounted up. I am super hyped. Thank God that freaking worked. Look at that. Steady binded. Love to see that. Alright guys, now that we've got our ELRS all binded up and set up, I've got my antenna mounted basically all ready to go. So time to set up the VTX. I last second decided to switch to the TBS Unify Pro 32 Nano, which goes up to 500 milliwatts, because the HELRC, whatever that VTX was just not gonna work. It wasn't gonna fit, and it seemed pretty old, so I just figured I'm gonna use a nicer VTX for this quad. I'm literally just connecting the camera right now. Damn, those are some nice solder joints. Now that our camera is all set up, gotta get our wires for our VTX all hooked up. I'm missing a couple wires, or at least one wire, so we'll be right back so we can strip and tin those off camera and then get back to soldering. Alright guys, we've got our VTX all tinned up now, so we're just gonna start soldering onto it. Alright guys, so I know I kind of skipped a couple steps for you guys, but it's alright. We've got our ELRS mounted now, we've got our Immortal T in the front, nice and snug, and we've got our VTX all wired up now. We're just about to get this little bit of heat shrink on, and it's basically just wrapping the rest of the build up. I feel like all the stress is over. I think it was worth it already. Yeah, it seems like it'll be worth it. This looks really clean and really awesome, so I might end up being happy. But yeah, we'll get back to you guys when we are throwing the motors on and whatnot. And yeah, basically just gonna wrap this heat shrink up, and I think we're literally done wiring and electronics wise. We do have to set up the quad on Betaflight fully still, which is alright. I'm not too worried about that. I am kind of worried about figuring out what I'm going to do for a tune on it, but it's okay. After however many painstaking hours, like every one of my only other first build, we're finally done, I think. Well, we're finally screwing on the top plate bolts. We're not done. We're nowhere near done, but, well, somewhat near done, but still. We will catch you when we got the motors on. It's starting to look like a freaking drone finally. It feels good. Feels good, at least to say, I will say. It's about time. I put off everything today just for this. But this looks pretty gangster so far. It looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. This might have been worth it. Might have been worth it. We'll be back, guys. Let's get these motors mounted up. And before we do the motors, I almost forgot something. Boom! Look at that. One nice little purple fin. Skeleton. Yeah. Flip over. Alright, let's get these motors on. Motor 1. Motor 2. 3. And 4. This thing looks mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I've been so focused on working on it that I haven't even gotten to stop and kind of admire it. Well, I can't admire it until I know it fully works though. So we'll be right back and see what else we gotta do. Actually, check this out. Boom, look at that. Super clean. I don't like how the yellow shows, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. This thing looks awesome. Alright, I think literally all that's left to do is Betaflight now. So we will be right back, and hopefully it'll be with this thing working. Alright, now this should work. God, I do not mess with those sparks every time it plugs in.
Telemetry recovered.
Alright, you guys ready? Actual moment of truth. Let's go. Let's go. We did it. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. Our second ever drone build, our first ever 5-inch build, and our first ever 5-inch race quad in general. This is a big moment for me. This is hype and it looks amazing. I'm actually so happy with how this came out. I'm about to go mating this at night, and I will see you guys in the video where we review this thing and tell you guys how it really feels to fly a 5-inch race quad. Peace out, guys. If you watched till the end, I appreciate you guys so much. Seriously, much love for all the support on the recent videos, and drop a comment if you guys enjoyed, subscribe, like, and I will see you guys later. Peace.